So I remember I was talking with a friend of mine, and me and this friend were the same age. We're in our early 40s. And she was telling me about how her little sister is basically the older sister because like the little sister has her life together and has a pathway and started a family, whereas my friend isn't really doing all that and feels like she hasn't grown up yet to some extent, and I disagree, but whatever. But that dynamic of having the younger sibling being the responsible sibling and sort of caretaking over the older sibling, I thought a lot about that. And when it came time to create Kazi and Kani, I thought about that, where both Kani and Kazi are like people that I went to middle school with, people that I went to high school with, people that I remember. But I put them in this dynamic where, as opposed to being two separate people that don't really have to deal with each other, I put them in this twin sibling dynamic where all of a sudden, like, the responsible one has to be responsible over a little brother, and that the reckless one actually impacts someone more than just himself. And I just sort of liked playing with that as a concept, playing with that idea, and seeing how the two of them interact with one another, and how the world sees the two of them, and how they interact with the world and with one another.
Kazi is a troublemaker. He doesn't always think before he speaks, and he doesn't always think before he acts, and he doesn't always think. And Connie will almost always take time out and try to, you know, disarm every conversation and mistake and foolish thing that he does, sometimes to her own detriment. And he also, though, can be the first person to call people out when they're making mistakes and take them aside and say, like, hey, this is a bad path, don't do this. He will also take correction, usually pretty well. And she is, she just needs a little more light to thrive in, I think.